King David was a great king. He was a poet, a psalmist, and he went through things in life that really captured every human emotion. So this morning we're going to just read a few psalms before we begin with remarks. Mizmor LaDavid Adonai royi lo yachzar. Bino istesha yarbitzeni amei menuchos yinaleni. Nafshi yeshovev yancheni b'maglei tzedek leman shemoy. Gam ki elech begetz almaves lo yirara ki ata imadi. Shiftecha mishantecha hema yenachamuni. Tarach lefanai shulcha neged sararai. Yishanta v'Hashem en roshi kosi revaya. Achtoi v'chesed yedefuni kol yemei chayai. V'shavti b'veis Adonai le'orech yamim. A song of David, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not lack. God causes me to lie down in the pastures. God leads me beside tranquil waters. God restores my soul and guides me in righteous path for God's namesake. Though I will walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your scepter and staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in full view of my adversaries. You have anointed my head with oil, my cup overflows. May only goodness and kindness pursue me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord for the length of days. Another beautiful passage from the book of Proverbs that we read on Friday nights. To the woman of valor. A gallant woman, a woman of valor, who can find? Far beyond pearls is her worth. Her husband's heartfelt trust is in her, and he shall lack for nothing. She bestows good upon him and never harm all the days of her life. She seeks out wool and linen, and her hands work willingly. She is like a merchant fleet, bringing her sustenance from afar. She arises while it is yet night and gives provision to her household and direction to her maidens. She envisions a field and acquires it. From the fruit of her handiwork, she plants a vineyard. With vigor, she girds her loins and strengthens her arms. She discerns that her enterprise is good. Her lamp does not go out by night. Her hands she stretches out to the distaff, and her palms support the spindle. She spreads out her palm to the poor and extends her hands to the destitute. She fears not snow for her household, for her entire household is clothed with scarlet wool. Fine covers she made herself, linen and purple wool are her clothing. Prominent in the gates is her husband, and she sits with the elders of the land. She makes a cloak and sells it, and deals a belt to the peddler. Strength and splendor are her raiment. She cheerfully awaits her last day. Her mouth is open with wisdom, and the teaching of kindness is on her tongue. She oversees the ways of her household and partakes not of the bread of laziness. Her children rise and praise her husband, and he lauds her, saying, many daughters have accomplished well, but you surpass them all. Grace is vain, and grace is false, and beauty is vain. A woman in awe of God, she should be praised. Give her the fruits of her own hand, and let her deeds praise her in the gathering places. One more psalm, Psalm 16. Michtam LeDavid, guard me, God, for in you I have taken refuge. You have said to the Lord, you are my Lord, I have no good beyond you. As for the holy ones who are on the earth, and the mighty in whom is all my desire, their sorrows will multiply. Those that run to other gods, their blood libations will I not pour out, nor take their names upon my lips. The Lord is my allotted portion and my share. You sustain my fate. Portions have fallen to me in pleasant places. Lovely indeed is my estate. I will bless the Lord who has given me counsel. My conscience admonishes me at night. I have set the Lord before me always, because God is at my right hand. I shall not falter. Therefore my heart rejoices and my entire being exults. Also my body will rest secure, for you will not abandon me to the grave, nor will you let your devout ones see destruction. You will make known to me the path of life. In your presence is fullness of joy. There is delight at your right hand for eternity. Today is the 5th day of Nisan, and as it is the month of redemption, in which the Jewish people were redeemed from slavery in Egypt, this month is considered a happy month, a joyful month, in which we do not say certain prayers, nor technically give eulogies. So while this will not be officially a eulogy for the great Phyllis Goldberg, Sarah Freda Bas Avram, I did want to share some words of praise about her incredible, inspiring life. And as I was not privileged to know her personally, I humbly prayed to God that I should adequately capture her greatness, and I apologize for any omissions about her. Before I begin sharing her story, I wanted to point out that it is among our core beliefs as Jews that this is not the end of Phyllis's story. The word in Hebrew for grave is kever. And interestingly, the word for womb is also kever. What is the connection between the two, between a grave and a womb? They seem to be quite opposite. Our sages explain that when a fetus is in its mother's womb, that is the only existence that it knows, where everything is taken care of for the fetus. Then shortly before birth, the fetus feels a little bit more cramped, a little more tight, much less comfortable. And then the womb starts shaking, it starts contracting, and the fetus starts sensing that this might be the very end. It knows nothing different. It cannot fathom it. But then it's born into a life much more real than the life in the womb. The womb then is a transitional point into a different, more real world. So too, as a person is laid to eternal rest in their grave, it would seem to us that this is the end of the road. But we believe, as a core tenet of our faith, that this is merely a transition, that the body, yes, it returns to the soil, but the soul, that eternal godly spark residing within every human being, that lives on forever. This then is a transition point to a more real world, the eternal world to come, because we believe that the soul does endure and live forever. And right now, we can take comfort knowing that the soul of Phyllis Goldberg has been returned to its maker, to God himself. And we can take comfort knowing that her soul is reunited with her beloved husband, Meyer, and daughter, Pamela. Their souls now intertwined forever. Her beloved descendants, son Murray, grandkids, Alex, Jordan, and Benjamin, and partner Tess, and great-grandchildren, Elena, Afi, and Ariel, will undoubtedly preserve, safeguard, and sanctify her precious memory. Phyllis was born in North Carolina in 1935. And in the 1950s, as a young woman, she moved to Denver after her uncle was assigned the unbelievable task to help open the U.S. Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs. The hardworking, bright young woman that she was, she had taken shorthand and typing in school and took a test to become a legal secretary for none other than the FBI. She obviously got the job, but as they required her to move away from Colorado, she declined. It was very important to her that she remain near her family. She would go on to meet a very close friend named Nadine, who would become her roommate. And conveniently, Nadine was dating a young man named Stan, who, as divine providence ordained, was best friends with another young man named Meyer Goldberg. The rest, as they say, was history, as Meyer and Phyllis hit it off and got married in the early 60s. They went on to have two beloved children, Pamela of blessed memory and Murray. Phyllis became a legal secretary for an Aurora judge, and she worked for the city of Aurora for many years until Meyer and his father's souvenirs and novelty business had grown so much that they needed her help there. She helped with that family business until her father-in-law passed away in 1975. At that point, she, alongside her beloved husband, her life partner, Meyer, began traveling internationally on buying trips. They traveled all over the world on 50 different occasions, buying unique items that they would bring back to sell at trade shows as part of their business back home in America. With all the traveling she did, Murray relates that she truly did love just being at home. She, along with her husband, would do about 35 trade shows a year, traveling the country, selling the goods that they acquired overseas, and Phyllis worked closely with her husband until his death in 2005. Murray ran the business with her until 2013 when they sold it. At that point, when she was in her upper 70s, it would have made a lot of sense if she simply decided to lay low, stay home, and enjoy her retirement. But she was a very active woman, a go-getter, was not interested in just staying home, not doing much. So she got her sales license with the state, and as a woman in her upper 70s and lower 80s, went back to work 6 days a week with her son Murray to help him sell cars at the used car lot that Murray operates. She kept going and going, constantly striving to stay busy and be productive, helping her beloved family members run their businesses. In looking at her various attributes, we would be remiss if we didn't recall her very good mazel, or fortune, luck, as sometimes is translated. In Judaism, we don't necessarily believe in a thing called luck, but we do believe in a thing called mazel. Mazel literally means a constellation of stars, but it also means that some people are just born with a certain kind of mazel, a certain kind of fortune. For some people, some things are just preordained. And as her many friends could attest, Phyllis had very, very good mazel. Murray relates that oftentimes when they would go to dinner as a family, she would stumble across money laying on the street. She had a certain knack about her that good fortune seemed to follow her. On a trip to Disneyland with her young family, they first made a stop in Las Vegas. Suffice it to say that after a few good hours at the slot machines, and after a trip to Disneyland and back, they arrived back home with more money in their pockets than when they left on their trip. The hotels in Blackhawk knew her and loved her, always taking good care of her. And her friends would want to come on those trips with her, hoping her good fortune would transfer to them as well. But the driven woman that she was, when she was ready to go to a different casino, rather than wait for the shuttle buses, which could take some time, she had places to be. So she began hastily walking over to the next destination. The 8,500 feet of altitude up in Blackhawk did not faze her. She was a woman on a mission. She kept striving and going. At trade shows in Las Vegas, she would be on her feet with customers literally all day. This would be followed by dinner and then some slot machines. After a few short hours of sleep, she'd be up and at 'em again, ready for another day's work. She was a dedicated hard worker with a stellar work ethic. She used a sense of purpose and drive for amazing things for the community as well. She was the president of the BMHBJ's Women's League for 5 to 6 years. And in her role as a Women's League president, she successfully ran BMH's famed Purim Carnival at great financial profit for the shul. She led the Hamantaschen bakes from authentic recipes, helping raise much needed funds for BMH. She was a prolific fundraiser and a natural born leader. And she, along with her husband, engaged in the unparalleled kindness and mitzvah of donating a Sefer Torah, a Torah scroll, to BMHBJ. She was also very nurturing. It was known about Phyllis that if anyone didn't feel good or had an upset stomach or allergy, they could always count on her to heal them. She always seemed to be ready. She always had something in her purse, whether it was allergy pills, candy to help people with low blood sugar, whatever it was, she had it. Some kind of remedy or cure-all for whatever ailed someone. Herself a diabetic, she encountered many diabetic customers and vendors at the trade shows she frequented, and these individuals who needed an extra boost. She developed a natural rapport and relationship with these people. They all knew they could come to her because she understood them. She understood their needs and their diet. She knew how to help them, and she desired to be of assistance. Ever so friendly, she struck up relationships and learned fascinating tidbits from the most interesting customers, including a friend who was a woman who married into the family of Dallas police officer J.D. Tippett, who was murdered by Lee Harvey Oswald 45 minutes after murdering John F. Kennedy. We believe that a person's Hebrew name truly defines who they are. And it would appear that Phyllis's Hebrew name, Sarah Freda, adequately captured her essence. Because Abraham's wife, Sarah, along with her husband, embodied the character trait of chesed, of kindness and openness, warmth. It is said about them that their tent was open from all sides, so potential visitors and merchants wandering through the hot desert wouldn't need to bother schlepping around to the other side of the tent where the entrance was. And like her namesake, our matriarch Sarah, Phyllis also embodied chesed, looking out for other people and taking care of them. She lived a life demonstrating the Southern hospitality, niceness, and friendliness. During trade shows in Denver, she and Meyer would invite vendors to come over. They would send their signature 3-inch T-bone steaks to their best customers, who would come by as Meyer would grill them for everybody. She was a great wife and a great mother. As Murray relates, Mom was always there. She was a loyal, devoted wife and mom, staying by her husband's side as she helped him build his business and later her son's. And she'll be dearly missed. Phyllis, if I personally, God forbid, did not give you the proper honor and dignity that you so deserved in preparing for this funeral, if the members of the Holy Chevra Kadisha did not properly honor you in preparing for this moment, we humbly beg of your forgiveness. The Jewish people are going through a lot right now. May you be a Melitz Yosher, an advocate for our people and for your dear beloved family. Usually at this point, we would say the Kelmale prayer, but as it is this month of Nisan, there's actually a different prayer that we will say instead. And we'll just say a couple Psalms, Psalm 121, followed by Psalm 91. A song to ascents. I lift my eyes to the mountains. From where will my help come? My help comes from the Lord, maker of heaven and earth. God will not let your foot falter. Your guardian will not slumber. Behold, the guardian of Israel neither slumbers nor sleeps. The Lord is your guardian. The Lord is your protection by your right side. By day the sun will not harm you, nor the moon by night. The Lord will guard you from all evil. The Lord will guard your life. The Lord will guard your going and coming from now and forevermore. Psalm 130. A song of ascents. Out of the depths I call you, Lord. Lord, listen to my cry. Let your ears be attentive to my supplicative plea. If you preserve the account of sins, God, Lord, who can survive? Pardon resides with you, so that you are held in awe. I hope for the Lord. My soul hopes. I await God's word. I yearn more from the Lord than guards in the morning, guards for the morning. Israel, wait for the Lord, for with the Lord is kindness and great redemption. And it is God who will redeem Israel from all its iniquities. We've now are reaching the conclusion of this part of the ceremony. I will, toward the very end, as we begin to remove the coffin, I will say one last psalm, Psalm 91. And after this, everyone, and maybe we'll get some more explanation in a moment on all the specifics, but everyone will be invited to Mount Nebo for the internment. After that, there will be a reception honoring Phyllis's life at the Denver Underground Comedy Club. And this is obviously not for a comedy show, but as Murray has been heroically tending to his mother, taking care of her every need for the last 60 days, this is just going to be the most optimal, ideal place to hold this reception for Phyllis at the comedy club.
You ask guests who bring family, they use the restroom, make their way to their vehicles, move them out the boat. We'd like to go to the cemetery with us. We don't have an escorted procession, so you must follow all traffic laws, please. And we'll all just meet there at the cemetery for the burial. And so I'll have you exit the building efficiently and we'll all meet at the cemetery, okay? If you need the elevator, please let us know. It's in the back door near the restrooms, and we'll help you with that. Thank you so much. Have you this back to you. Unless you're clear off. You just don't need to you're not sick. You don't want to I'm good. Yeah.
Anybody can do that.